Vanakkam to all of you, sir. I'm sorry, this is the only Tamil I know. And unfortunately, my dear friend, Teacher Shiva in the Rajya Sabha has not taught me anything more of this very rich and very old language in the country, not in the country, but in India, the whole Asia. Honorable Chief Minister, sir, Mr. Stalin, Honorable young dynamic leader, Deputy CM sir, Honorable Minister for Education, who wants all of us to tame this rogue elephant. At the outset, I totally endorse the views expressed by Justice Gopal Gowda. I can assure you, sir, we all stand together to protect the federal structure of this great nation. Let me share with you, I, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, also faced a situation when the bills passed by the Madhya Pradesh Assembly were withheld by the then governor of Madhya Pradesh. Because in the Constitution, there is no provision for the honorable governors, no time limit set to sign or approve or disapprove any bill passed by the legislature. Sir, I am very happy to note that the Supreme Court judgment has very specifically come in this case of Tamil Nadu, where Honorable Governor has been reprimanded by the judgment of the Supreme Court, and I congratulate and thank, in this present circumstances, the judgment which has come is very heartening and very encouraging. Sir, I thank the Honorable Minister for Education, Anbil Mahesh, for having invited me for his launch of this book. I must compliment for taking the NEP 2020 head on. So let me tell you, I come from an area which has been the nursery of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. I can assure you, sir, the only language which the RSS understands is that of confrontation. You can confront and tame a rogue elephant with a spear that you have shown, and we are all there to hold that spear along with you. Well, I would like to quote Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. Sir, RSS is completing 100 years of its existence this year. They have very consistently tried to poison and influence the minds of the people in this country, particularly the youth, through their Saraswati Shushu Mandir, and the way very quietly they have brought in all their ideas and thoughts through this new education policy 2020. I have skimmed through the book which Honorable Minister has written, and as rightly pointed out by Honorable Justice Gowda, it violates number of articles of the Indian Constitution. And the objectionable paragraphs in the National Education Policy has been highlighted in his book, which he has launched today. I must compliment the government of Tamil Nadu, in spite of not agreeing to follow the National Education Policy 2020, the dropout rate has come down to 0, which is unparalleled. We have seen in the North Indian states, the dropout rate, instead of decreasing, is increasing. And I think I would like to compliment the Tamil Nadu government and its education ministry for a consistent policy where they have been able to reduce the dropout rate in the middle school down to 100% now. There is no dropout of a single student, which is very creditable. Even in the girls' students also, 2024, it has come down to 0. My full compliments to you, sir. 100% your girl students are coming down, coming out to the class 8th and class 10th. I can assure you, sir, that education has always been a tool to disseminate political ideas. Any power that takes control of the state attempts to refashion education according to its own vision. Let me remind you, sir, that Kothari Commission report came in 1968. It was discussed, debated, and passed by the parliament. Then in 1986, under Mr. late Rajiv Gandhi ji, the new education policy came, a part of which was quoted by Honorable Judge Sahab. It was debated, discussed, and passed. And fortunately, I was a member of that parliament when this new education policy in 1986 was passed. But NEP 2020 was not discussed in the parliament. It was not also been approved, put up before the Central Advisory Board of Education. The draft report under Kasturi Ranganji was of 600 pages. I don't know who were the people who filtered it down to only few 60 pages. The objections raised in the book are quite valid. I would like to point out, traditionally, over centuries, a certain section of people have been deprived the right to be educated. If you see, traditionally, there were gurukuls, the Guru Shishya Parampara. A child from a Brahmin community was taught the Vedas and Upanishads. A child from a Kshatriya family was taught education in war and military training, but the others were deprived of the basic education which should have been their right. Sir, let me tell you also that when India gained independence, we gave right, equal right to every citizen of this country. We gave right to every citizen to be educated. The fundamental rights are there in the Indian Constitution. The people who objected and opposed the Indian Constitution are the same people who have drafted the new education policy that is most unfortunate. I would like to point out, Honorable CM Sir, there's a film which has come out recently on the life of Jyotiba Phule and Savitri Phule. In the mid-19th century, how they fought all those forces who have deprived the almost 90% of the population of the basic rights of education. How they struggled and how they fought to give the education to people who had been deprived. Jyotiba Phule's wife, Savitri Phule, became the first female teacher in the country. I would strongly recommend, Honorable CM Sir, your party's association and the Tamil Nadu Politics Association with the films is well known. Sir, you must see this film on Phule. Have it dubbed in Tamil. It is very inspiring. I myself sort of sponsored a show in Bhopal, and 4 days later I see Mr. Rahul Gandhi has also sponsored a show in Patna. This is a film which has to be seen, to be believed. How even in the 19th century, there's a large section of people coming from the Dalit community, from the most backward communities, their right to get literacy. Let us not forget that the new education policy is only a policy. It is not, does not have the sanction of the parliament. It can't sort of overrun the Right to Education Act 2010. We see that today that this country, it was a result of constitutional and national commitment to education that schools, colleges and universities were established in independent India. IITs, IIMs, technical education centers were created, which Pandit Nehru called the temples of modern India. And within 50 years, our society started being recognized as a country with its own identity and own achievements in education, a country at the forefront of global progress. Then, new education policy has come in, which is being opposed by progressive elements, the students, the activists, the professors, who always believed in equality and freedom. These people who have framed the new education policy have always put duty above rights. Whenever you bring up the topic of civil rights, they will start reminding you of your duty. They claim that India's democratic model of universal education is not accordance with our identity. They claim that our identity is defined by Sanskrit and Shruti. Sanskrit is, of course, a very important language. But today, what is the universal language of the global language? It is English. All our technical education, the medical education, and in this age of technology, artificial intelligence, can students of Sanskrit or medium of Sanskrit, can they match the technological advances made globally? We want the technology to be adopted more aggressively by all institutions in this country. I must compliment the state of Tamil Nadu and of course among all IITs in this country. IIT Madras has done exceedingly well. And therefore I think the idea with which the new education policy trying to sort of promote an idea which takes us back into the medieval period is certainly not a very healthy sign. I would like to thank Hindu, which has carried the article by Mrs. Sonia Gandhi a few weeks ago, where she has pointed out how through centralization, commercialization, and communalization, this new education policy is being promoted. But I would like to add, as a chairman of the Standing Committee on Education, we had interactions with a number of people. The kind of vice chancellors who have been chosen, most of them have got corruption charges against them. There is a director of Indian Institute of Management, the IIT, who has claimed that the landslides in Himachal Pradesh are taking place because the people of Himachal Pradesh are non-vegetarians. Now, this is the kind of selection which this present government has done in choosing their directors of IITs, IIMs, vice chancellors. In my own state of Madhya Pradesh, there are innumerable cases of corruption against the vice chancellors chosen by the present government of India. I would like to add that there are few fundamental issues which have been introduced. Now, when we see that in January, the University Grants Commission has introduced its draft resolution, which wants to take away the rights of the state governments, even of those universities which have been created by the legislature of that state and funded by that state. They want to sort of control them through introducing draft legislation with the University Grants Commission. We have strongly objected the withholding of these funds of the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan for the 3 states who have not signed on accepting the PM Shri higher secondary schools. This is not acceptable. This goes fundamentally against the right of the state governments as enshrined in the Constitution. Is it in the concurrent list, which we have strongly objected. And I'm sorry to say that in spite of our best efforts, a unanimous resolution by the Standing Committee of the Parliament on Education, which included, majority of them were members of Parliament from BJP, that the funds should be released immediately to the state of Tamil Nadu, to the state of Kerala, and to the West Bengal, which has not been done as yet. We are sorry to note also, yesterday I was informed, that even the right to education, the students who are coming from the poor families, which are given admission under the right to education, their fees is being paid by the state government. The 500 crores are still pending, which the government of Tamil Nadu has paid but not been given by the government of India. This is highly objectionable, and we strongly object to that. The NCERT has assumed the power and responsibility to rewrite not just our textbooks, but our curricular frameworks as a whole. Given the recent record of erasing Mughal history or dropping the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi from our textbooks, I'm not very confident that these new frameworks have been written with the intention of upholding the constitutional value of secularism, democracy, and justice. Beyond these obvious subversions of our education system, the new form of education which is being tried to establish in the form of new education policy has given rise to many contradictions. Let me share at least 3 such instances. One is that of English, which I mentioned, and even I would like to point out, in Madhya Pradesh, the state government tried to sort of bring in technical education and medical through the Hindi, which has utterly failed. Therefore, I think in the present system, as it stands today, we have to agree the constitutional promise of equal education for everyone has to be protected. Education has to be accessible and affordable for all. The way the private institutions are hiking the price, the fees, is something which has to be taken care of. Personally, I feel the most important part of the education system has to be access, and once you have an access, then you have to go for the excellence. These are the 2 formats under which every education policy has to be understood. The current education system has shown the way to even the poorest people of society and continue to move ahead and establish themselves. Then why are efforts being made to find faults in it? This is an ideological project by an ideology that is opposed to the democratic revolution of 1947. I would like to conclude. The central question that this book comes with is what were the Modi government's intention in drafting and implementing this new education policy? On behalf of my party, I would like to assure that this book will certainly attract a lot of fury and anger from the present government. But we all who are opposed to the basic ideology of the BJP and the RSS shall fight together to protect the Indian democracy, our Indian constitution, and I'm sure the rogue elephant which has been sort of promoted by the new education policy shall be stopped in its track by the united, I would say, confrontation of all those who believe in the ideology of secularism, ideology of a united India, who believe in the ideology of the federal structure of this nation, and I'm sure we shall succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.